The Porsche Thoroughbred has a rival, and from within its own stable. Using the mnemonic GT3, it challenges the 911 signage, the Turbo. A 3.6 bi-turbo with four-wheel drive versus a 3.6 suction engine with rear-wheel drive. Two interpretations of a legend ask the all-important question. Which is the fastest? And he is supposed to provide the answer. Patrick Simon, architect, racing driver and Northern Loop addict. Best time at the ring, 7:15. Any more questions? Porsche test track in Leipzig, Germany. 3.75 kilometers long, suitable for Formula One and peppered with corners that are known all over the world. You know the Mobile S from the Hockenheim ring. And the Esmo corner reminds you of Monza. From Spa-Francorchamps, the bus stop, then over to the Suntory S, back to start and finish. He gets on the track first, the Porsche Turbo. Performance data, 480 horsepower, maximum torque, 680 Newton meters. This car represents one thing and one thing only. A brachial force, that is the characteristic of the Turbo, that defines it. Performance in abundance in any situation. Acceleration 0 to 200 in 12 seconds, top 310. It's a power you need to conquer despite the four-wheel drive. And when you then talk about cornering, then you have to be careful because the car can jump here and there because the turbo boost is kicking in. The scales stop at 1.65 tons. Performance weight, only 3.3 kilograms per horsepower. Price, because of all its extras, our test car reaches a proud 130,000 euros. And that's not the only fly in the ointment. That the car has a relatively small tank, that means that the fun is over relatively quickly when you find yourself at the petrol station filling up. 67 liters to be exact. With a consumption of 20 liters under full load, it is enough for a humble 320 kilometers. Apart from the ceramic brakes and a special cup tire, our Turbo dressed in speed yellow has also rear axle differential lock. Fantastic, the purring Turbo during accelerating, it's growling. And it slides well.
Yes, yes.
The Turbo shows its ugly side in the corners, its limit range, and that is narrow. When braking, it dives down heavily on its front axle. That makes the rear then really light. The car is difficult to control. But on the straight, it triumphs. When it accelerates out of the corner, you have traction. When the car is straight, then it races over the start and finish line here. Fantastic. Into Laguna Seca, this corkscrew. Fantastic place. Now slide. Now into it. Now the turbo boost accelerates. It slides immediately. You need to be sensitive so you can keep the car on the road with its 680 Newton meters. Some characters just need getting used to, but with every lap the line gets better, the time's faster. Now the coasting phase, be careful. Attention, and around it goes. This performance is mad. There's power in all situations. You can almost forget about changing gears on the racetrack. The fastest lap in the Porsche 911 Turbo, 1:04.95. 27,000 euros cheaper and about 200 kilos lighter, the Challenger GT3. With 415 horsepower and a maximum torque of 305 Newton meters, at first glance, it definitely seems to be the weaker of the two. The basic idea of the GT3 is simply to prepare a normal production car for the racetrack. This means its weight has been optimized, many light parts were used, paired with an engine that is taken away from racing. Light construction, racing engine and rear drive, and apart from traction control, no other drive support. Sounds undrivable. As an advanced driver, absolutely no problem. Lots of driving fun, but very, very difficult for a beginner. 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds, top speed 310. The engine rotates at up to 8,500 RPM, but Patrick demands one thing.
Soundkulisse.
The sound backdrop. The car, to hear the sound in the car itself is sensational. It gives you goosebumps. Let's listen to it then. But Patrick feels the difference to the turbo in the first corner. Now concentration on coasting, and then I can accelerate nicely again. Be sensitive with the accelerator. That's the nice thing about the suction compared to the turbo. And then braking. Second gear slowly. There is a slight understeer when turning the wheel. When accelerating, this continues, and when at some point there is too much power, then it goes into oversteer. The car becomes really light. Talking about light, even the GT3 has ceramic brakes and cup tires on board. However, they need to deal with 1,455 kilos live weight. The thing moves clean when sliding. Oh, yes. After 2 laps, Patrick races up the corkscrew as if it was his driveway. Big tennis here, drift into Laguna Seca. This drive up the hill. Everything is possible with this car with the precision of a Swiss clock. A clock is definitely the right buzzword. The best time of the turbo is seriously under threat. It's absolutely fantastic to drive this car. You need to work hard. You get out of breath because it is so powerful. If you compare it with the turbo, the car is natural. You can accelerate earlier. Performance-wise, it is somewhat inferior. The turbo has more oomph, but on the brake when steering in, the car is much more agile, much faster. You definitely can make up the time. And how? The feeling is the GT3 is at least 3 seconds ahead, so the last lap is for the audience. Yes, this is what it means to be born to be on the racetrack.
Born to be on the racetrack.
And then the surprise. With 1:04.52, the GT3 is only marginally ahead of the turbo. Only 3/10 ahead? In Formula One, this is enough for pole position. In reality, not really a lot. This means the turbo is tailgating the GT3 heavily. The turbo hammer seems to be enough to keep up with the competitor on our 2.3-kilometer-long circuit. But who is the better of the two? For me, the GT3 has the edge. This is the car you want to drive on the racetrack. With 1.04, the turbo surely is within the same time range as the GT3, but on a real racetrack with bumps in the road and fast corners, it cannot keep up with the GT3. The turbo's acceleration is sensational, a huge push ahead, a nice solid everyday car. Four-wheel drive in winter is perfect. The GT3 on the racetrack, rear-wheel drive, simply torque, you really have to shift through the gears to get ahead. Sensational. Use the turbo to drive to the racetrack, use the GT3 to drive on it. This will not be the last fight amongst brothers. The GT2 is already waiting.